What happened if you forced your time? Let me ask you, that might just change your life. How long are you planning to wait? Another week, another month, another year? For most people, no one is erupting your thoughts. That is your time. The answer for because they keep waiting for the right time. But let me tell you something powerful. The right time doesn't exist. The right time is a myth. And the longer you wait, that is your time, the further your dreams drift away. Your life doesn't change when the world changes. Your life changes the moment you change, specifically when your mindset changes. Nobody is interrupting your thoughts. Most people, they're stuck because they don't have enough money or the right degree or the right connections. But that's not the truth. They're stuck because they're waiting. Your thoughts and there's your time. They're stuck because they believe they need permission. They're stuck because they think too small. The real enemy is not the economy, not your boss, not your past. The real enemy is hesitation. Thoughts, that is your time. The real enemy is fear wrapped in excuses. You say, I'll start when I feel ready. But what if I told you that readiness is a lie? Confidence doesn't come before it comes after it. Your time, you don't wait to feel bold, you move, and boldness follows. You don't wait to feel strong, you move and strength finds you. Here's the truth, most people avoid D. That is your time. You don't need everything to be perfect to begin. You just need the courage to take, that's one step forward, because one step turns into momentum and momentum turns into change. Thoughts, that is your time. Your mindset is the operating system for your entire life. If it's full of fear, doubt, and delay, you'll spend years building castles in the air but never laying the first brick. That is your time. You'll dream big but act small, and that's how regret is born, but from not starting at all. People think failure kills dreams. It doesn't. Waiting does. Procrastination does. Trying to thought that your fat is guys, there's logic does. The ones who succeed, they're not always the smartest. They're just the ones who move first, who said, I may not have all the answers. For it's your time, but I refuse to sit still. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. That's how progress begins, not in giant leaps, but in daily step. Let me be brutally honest with you. What is calling him? If you don't change your mindset, your life will never change. You'll keep waking up in the same patterns, the same regrets, because nothing changes until you do. Mindset is the seed. Direction does your time. Action is the water. Growth is the fruit. But no seed grows without being planted. You don't need to know everything to start. You just need to believe that you're enough to begin. Time and to have the discipline to keep going when it gets hard. You have to stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking your thoughts. That is your time. What if I never try? Because let me tell you something, it's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to take the first step while still afraid. The people who succeed are not special. Thoughts, that is your time. They're just contained. They show up, they stumble, they fall, but they show up or fall. Here's what happens when your mindset shifts. You stop seeing problems as obstacles and start seeing them as challenges. Your time, you stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as feedback. You stop asking for easy and start demanding growth. Growth only comes from discomfort. You will never evolve inside your comfort zone. Erupting your thoughts, that is your time. That's why the greatest changes often happen when you feel pressure, when you're tired, when you're scared, when everything in you says maybe later. But you look yourself in the mirror and say, no, that is your time. I begin. Now life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who move. Even if they stumble, even if they don't have it all figured out, because momentum makes you unstoppable. That is your time, and momentum only comes from motion, not thought, not planning, not hoping. Motion. Think about how many ideas you've had that you never acted on. How many times you told yourself, soon, later, come and when. The time is yours tight, and now those opportunities, they're gone. And the worst part, you didn't lose them because of failure, you lost them because of waiting. Stop letting doubt write your future. That is your start letting discipline lead your days. That is your change your mindset from I hope it happens to I will make it happen, from I'm not ready to I'm willing to try, from maybe one day to day one starts now. Let me remind you of something powerful. No one is entering your thoughts. That is your time. You don't need motivation to move. You need movement to spark motivation. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, for the right mood, for someone to believe in them. But what if nobody claps for you? Rats, that is your time. What if nobody gives you a push? Will you still move? Because if you want to win, you have to be your own cheerleader, your own motivator, your own starting pistol. Nobody is coming to save you. That is your sponsor. Nobody is going to live your dream for you. That responsibility belongs to one person, and that's you. So today, stop making excuses. Stop waiting for signs. Stop telling yourself that tomorrow will be easier. Do the thoughts as your time, but the only thing that gets easier is giving up. But you didn't come this far just to quit here. You came to rise, you came to evolve, you came to break cycles, rewrite stories. That is your time, and build something that lasts. But it all starts here, not next week and not next year. Now decide right now that you're done living on pause. Decide that your mindset is no longer one of fear but of fire. That is your time. Decide that your life is not something you sit and watch. It's something you shape. And that shaping begins today, because once you change your mindset, everything changes with it. Your habits, your discipline, your time, your direction, your outcomes, your future. Stop moving. Your time is not later. Your time is now. Let me ask you something real. How many times have you said, not now? Time maybe later, just because the situation wasn't perfect. Be honest with yourself. You've had ideas, dreams, goals, but every time you're about to take action, you hear that little voice inside. Wait, it's not the right time. You're not ready yet. That's the lie. The lie of perfection. You think you need more time, more money, more experience. You think the stars need to align. If that is your time, your confidence needs to grow, the fear needs to disappear, and then you'll begin. But let me break the illusion for you. There is no perfect time. It never comes. Perfection is not preparation. No one is your time. It's procrastination in disguise, and it's stealing your life one excuse at a time. Look around. How many people do you know who have been planning something for years? The book they were going to write. That is your time. The business they were going to start, the habit they're going to start, the bit, but they're still waiting. And now years have passed. The dream still on paper. The fire barely alive. You see, crawling, unknown is entering your thoughts. That is your time. Most people aren't afraid. They're afraid of starting imperfectly. But here's the truth: you'll never be completely ready. Not for your dream, not for your calling, not for your breakthrough. Opting your thoughts. That is your time, because the version of you that will achieve it is not the version you're here today. You grow through the process, not before it. Success isn't built on perfection. It's built on action. Messy. Know your thoughts. That is your time. Uncomfortable, uncertain action. Think about it. The people who changed the world, they didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They moved. They built while everyone else was thinking. When one's interrupting your thoughts, that is your time. They launched when everyone else was hesitating. They dared to look foolish. And that's why they made it. You don't need everything figured out. You don't need a flawless plan. Your time, you don't even need to feel confident. You just need to move, because action creates momentum, and momentum creates clarity, and clarity builds confidence. But none of that happens if you keep standing still. The perfect time. Understand this: waiting for the perfect time is the fastest way to kill your potential. You're not avoiding risk, you're avoiding growth. And every day you delay, that delay becomes a habit, a pattern, a mindset, and before you know it, you've spent years watching life instead of living it. What you must realize is that perfection is not the goal. Progress is start small, start afraid, start with doubts. That's your time, but for God's sake, start. Your dream doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. It requires courage. It requires you to say, even if I fail, your time, I'll keep going. And listen, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. The sooner you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the quicker you grow. And the quicker you grow, time, the closer you get to the life you want. And don't the lie of perfection rob your future. Don't let fear of looking unprepared keep you from becoming who you're meant to be. Called on emptying your thoughts. That is your time. You wanted to know the right time to begin. It's when it's hardest, when it's uncomfortable, when your back's against the wall. That's when the strongest version of you is born. So no more waiting. That is your time. No more, I'll try when I feel ready. No more letting perfection control your pace. The world doesn't reward perfect people. It rewards brave ones. The ones who show up anyway. The ones who say, no, Migs, that is your time. I'll figure it out as I go. The ones who understand that done is better than perfect. So from today, burn the idea of perfect. Start messy, start scared, but just start. No one's, that is your time, because the only real failure is never beginning at all. Let's get honest for a moment. What if everything you were taught about failure was wrong? And no one of your thoughts. That is your time. What if failure isn't something to fear, but something to embrace? See, most people avoid failure like it's the end of the road. They treat it like a curse, a sign that they're not good enough, smart enough. No one is interrupting your thoughts. That is your time, strong enough. But the truth is, failure is none of those things. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning. It's not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Think about anyone you admire, an entrepreneur. That is your time. An athlete, an artist, a leader. Do you honestly believe they reached success without failing? No. In fact, most of them failed more times than the average person even dared to try. The difference, no one is into your thoughts, is that is your time, that they didn't let failure stop them. They let it shape them. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Failure is not a punishment. It's feedback. It shows you what doesn't work. Thoughts, that is your time. It exposes your weaknesses. It points out your blind spots. It teaches you what no book, no mentor, no classroom ever could. You don't grow by getting it all right. You grow when you fall and rise again. Your thoughts, that is your time. You grow when life knocks you down and you say, I'm not done yet. But here's the problem. Since childhood, we were trained to fear failure, fail a test. You're scolded, fail at work. You're judged. That here, if the your times are firm, that are failable. So we begin to believe that failing means we're not enough. And that belief becomes a cage, a mental prison that keeps us from taking risks, from dreaming bigger, from trying again. No one is your time, Bob. But what if you change that belief? What if failure was the stop? But the signal to grow, every time you fail, life is handing you data. And if you listen, if you learn, if you adjust, you come back stronger. Failure isn't the thing that breaks you. It's the thing that builds you, builds your wisdom, builds your character, builds your resilience. That is your time, because let me tell you something. Resilience is something you're born with. It's something you earn, one failure at a time. The people who succeed aren't superhuman in interrupting your thoughts at time. They've just failed so often that fear lost its power. They've fallen so many times that getting back up became a reflex. Every time they failed, they learned. Every time they lost, they grew. That is your time. And every time they wanted to quit, they remembered this is part of the process. You will never master anything without messing up. You will never build strength without resistance. That is your time. You will never reach your potential by only playing it safe. Failure is the tuition you pay for greatness. You don't get to skip it. You don't get to avoid it. You just get to decide how you respond to it by the time. That is your time. So the next time you fail, don't shrink, don't retreat, don't say, I'm not good enough. Say, this is teaching me, this is building me. It's also your time. This is your time. This is preparing me, because the moment you stop running from failure and start learning from it, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable, because nothing scares the person who's not afraid to fall. That is your time. Listen to me carefully. Your worth does not decrease because you made a mistake. Your value is not erased because something didn't work. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. So stop seeing it as shame. Start seeing it as strategy. Failure is the path, not a detour. It's not proof that you can't. It's proof that you're on the way. Most people give up way too soon. They hit one wall and turn back. That is your time. They hear one no and shut down. But what they don't realize is they were one more step up away, one more try away, one more lesson away from the breakthrough they were chasing. Don't be that person. That is your time. Be the one who keeps showing up. Be the one who takes the hit, learns the lesson, and grows even stronger, because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the fuel behind it. And the faster you fail, not only you're disrupting your thoughts, faster you'll rise. Let me tell you something most people never understand. You don't get paid first. You serve first. In a world where everyone's chasing money, chasing followers, chasing success, the very few are chasing impact. Very few how can I help, before asking how much can I make? And that's exactly why most people stay stuck. Stop. There's your time. Money is not the goal, it's the result of value, the result of service, the result of solving real problems. If you focus only on what you can get, people will feel it and they'll walk away at forward and behind. It's short time, but if you focus on what you can give, people remember you, they trust you, they come back, and eventually they reward you. Because here's the truth: service builds legacy, selfishness builds limits. You build something that lasts. You want respect, trust, reputation, and yes, wealth. Well, then flip your mindset. Stop asking, how fast can I win? And start asking, reach in your thoughts. That is your time. How deeply can I serve? You don't need 1 million followers to start serving. You don't need to be famous to make an impact. You just need to care. You just need to say, that is your time. How can I make someone's life easier, better, lighter, stronger? That's how great careers are built. That's how great brands are born. That is your time. That's how legacies are written. One act of service at a time. Look at the most successful people in any industry. They didn't rise by shouting, look at me. They rose by asking. That is your township. How can I help you? They understood that when you serve with excellence, people talk, they recommend you, they remember you. Because in a world full of noise and shortcuts, genuine service stands out. First, that is your time. But let's be clean. Serving first doesn't mean being used. Doesn't mean sacrificing your boundaries or your value. It means leading with intention, with humility, with heart. That is a time. It means being more interested in solving the problem than counting the profit. Short-term thinkers chase quick wins. Long-term thinkers build relationships, and relationships always outlast revenue. Interpret your thoughts. That is your time. Here's a hard truth. If you only serve when you're getting paid, you're not really serving, you're just trading. But if you serve even when no one is watching, if you give without keeping score, no one is in to run your thought, that's when then you unlock something rare: trust. And trust is the most valuable currency in the world, because money comes and goes, trends rise and fade, but the way you made people feel, that stays, that spreads. That is your time. That's what builds momentum. You can't buy it. You want to build a business, a brand, a career, then serve the people. Not just the market, not just the algorithm, the people. Ask yourself, your thought is, that is your time. What do they need right now? Or how can I solve their pain better than anyone else? What can I give that no one else is willing to? When you ask the right questions, you create the right results. No one is interrupting time. And here's what most people don't realize: serving is what sustains you when the results are slow, when no one's clapping, when the growth isn't obvious. Because if you're only driven by the paycheck, your time, youth. But if you're driven by the mission, you'll stay the course. Legacy is not built in a day. It's built daily. And every act of service, every helpful gesture, every honest effort, it all stacks. No one does your time. It all matters. So stop obsessing over how much you can earn. Start obsessing over how much you can contribute. Because when you focus on meaning, money follows. When you focus on value, of interrupting your thoughts, stop. That is your time. The earning income becomes the side effects of surf first, earn later, build something that outlives you. Because in the end, people won't remember what you sold, they'll remember what you solved. And that, what happens, well, that Akisha time is what makes your life unforgettable. They'll call you crazy. They'll say it's impossible to laugh when you tell them your dream. And that's exactly how you know you're dreaming big enough. See, 30 years of time. Every breakthrough, innovation, every game, change and success just started as someone's illusion. Not reality, not logic, not statistics, but a wild one on your thoughts. That is your time. Unrealistic vision that nobody else could see, except the one who dared to believe in it. You have to be a little delusional to change your life. You have to believe in something that doesn't exist yet. Far further up that's your time. You have to see a future to even imagine. That's not foolishness, that's faith, that's vision. But don't get it twisted. Vision alone isn't enough, because dreaming is easy. Or this is where most people get lost. This is where most dream like giants, but they move like amateurs. They have billion-dollar ideas and 10-cent habits. They talk big, but their actions are small. That is not your time, and that's why nothing changes. You need to be delusional about your vision, but brutally practical about your steps. That means your head is in the clouds, but your feet are on the ground. You won't believe in miracle. It's your time, but you wake up and put in the work. It means you dream of flying, but you're willing to build the wings yourself. Your vision, that's your fuel. Your steps, that's your engine. That is your time. One without the other, you go nowhere. So yes, believe big, believe in something that scares you. Believe in something so bold it makes people uncomfortable, because safe dreams don't move the world. No one is interrupting your thoughts. Safe dreams don't even move you. But while you're dreaming, don't forget you have to show up every day. Not when it's convenient, not when it's exciting, but even when it's boring, painful, confusing, slow. Because big dreams are built on boring routines, on silent sacrifices, on hard conversations, on consistent action. That is your time. People want magic, but they forget the recipe is 90% discipline and 10% belief. You can have the clearest vision in the world, but if your habits don't match your goals, you'll never make it. Thoughts, that is your time. That's why daily discipline is non-negotiable. Don't just visualize, strategize. Don't just manifest, measure. Don't just hope, hustle. Reverse engineer your dream. As your pilots, you're up in your thoughts. That is, start with the vision, but break it down into daily steps. What does someone with that future do every day? What do they read? Who do they hang out with? How do they speak? What do they sacrifice? That is your time, and then you become that person. No, not later, because the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you prove you're committed to. That is your time, and commitment isn't a feeling, it's a decision you remake every single day, with or without motivation. So yes, be delusional, be the person who believes when no one else does. Is your time, be the one who sees light when everyone else sees darkness. That kind of belief will make you unstoppable, but then go out and build brick by brick, create routines, set deadlines, make sacrifices. That is your time, but is your track your progress, stay accountable, because without execution, your vision is just a fantasy. Success is not one giant leap. It's 1,000 tiny steps taken with relentless consistency. That is your time, and when the world says, be realistic, smile, because realism never created revolutions. It was the dreamers, the crazy ones, the obsessed ones, but those dreamers also worked. They bled for it. Your time, they started studying the game, they paid the price. So today, if your vision scares you, good. If it feels too big for who you are right now, great. Now pair it with action, pair it with focus, pair it with patience. That's your time, because when delusional belief meets practical belief meets practical effort, could you become unbreakable? Be delusional about be practical about your steps, and one day, your time, the world will call you a genius for the very thing they once laughed at.